What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Roof Connections Podcast, a show dedicated to topics and aspects based around facility maintenance. My name's David HUVAL. For the past 9 years, I've worked in the commercial roofing industry on the marketing side for companies like RoofConnect, the largest national service provider in America. Today, I'm joined by Mike Stivers, the outgoing Director of National Accounts at RoofConnect. Thanks for joining me, Mike.
My pleasure, David. Thank you for having me.
Good deal. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. An old guy, I'm just glad to be breathing, my friend.
Well, that's a good attitude to have, at least, especially for somebody who's about to retire.
There you go. There you go.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today, Mike. Before we jump into your career at RoofConnect, I know that this is actually your second career. RoofConnect was your second career. Can you briefly tell us about young Mike Stivers and how your early career in trucking kind of developed and helped shape your leadership style?
Sure. I was a young guy, fresh out of college, and I had all the answers. And started to work in the trucking industry. I started actually working on a freight dock while I was in college, and stayed in the business, in the industry. And I was going to do it for a short time, and 40 years later, I found myself still there. But I grew up in a Teamster environment, so that alone taught me that there are thousands of different personalities out there, and gave me the opportunity to learn those personalities, how to communicate with those people. Listening skills were vital in the Teamster world, and that's sort of what laid the groundwork for my career.
Oh yeah, I had a job once in college working on a dock, also like in trucking, offloading and stuff on and off the truck. So it was a great job. It worked great with school because it was really early hours, so it worked great. What made you? Did you really like the industry? Is that why you stayed? You said 43 years you were in trucking.
Actually, I did like it. As I said, I started out on the freight dock. Drove a truck in city delivery for about 8 or 10 years. Worked my way into management and all the way up to a regional manager in the industry. And it's just one of those things. It's a very hard industry, but it's all I knew. So it was just something I sort of grew up in, and I really enjoyed the people mainly, but enjoyed the industry.
I can imagine some of the things you learned there, especially in trucking, probably correspond and overlap with things in construction. So after your career there, with no experience actually in roofing that I know of, what made you decide to come work at RoofConnect?
Well, David Workman, our CEO, David and I have known each other for many years, and I was sort of intrigued with what David had started with RoofConnect, and I'd watched him over the years, and he and I had talked about business and the best way to do things and suggestions and things like that. And then one day he actually called me and said, "Man, I'm thinking about doing something a little crazy. What about you coming to work for RoofConnect in sales?" And I went, I don't know anything about roofing, David. He goes, "No, but you know people." And that's where it started. I interviewed with David, interviewed with a couple of the board members, interviewed with Wade Crosswhite, and almost 10 years later, it's been an awesome journey.
Yeah, I can only imagine. What were the early days like there at RoofConnect? Because that was really when they started rolling. Tell us about those early days.
Yeah, the early days we were a lot smaller. I mean, we had 2 to 3 people in customer service. I don't even know how many we have now. I know we had to build a complete building to house the customer service department. Wade and David and I, especially Wade and I, had a lot of conversations, and we knew what we didn't know, if that makes sense. We knew that we needed to invest more in our people. We knew we didn't have a good training program. So we invested in sales training for our sales team, customer service training for our customer service department, and we even have training for the management team, and that started up 3 or 4 years ago, 4 years ago, I guess now, and it's ongoing today.
Yeah, it's been a great initiative. Working over the past, that's right about the time I started is when that initiative kicked off. And I can tell a difference from when we started there to now, how comfortable people are on just our sales team, making calls, getting in front of people. It's been a great program.
Absolutely. It was an investment that the company had to make, but it was a very worthwhile investment. We're still reaping those benefits.
Yeah. You mentioned Wade a moment ago. He's the new president of RoofConnect, and I asked him a little bit about y'all that starting out and when you came on, and the one thing that he kept mentioning to me was that that's not only his opinion, but the leadership team and a lot of people at RoofConnect consider you to be the heart of RoofConnect. That you're always there lifting people up when things are bad, and that you always stay positive. So what do you have to say about the impact of positive thinking in leadership roles, and how do you think it affects the rest of the organization?
David, I learned a long time ago. I've always sort of been positive. I mean, back in my school days of Friday night football, I always went out on the field with the plan on winning that game. I just thought we would win. I brought that attitude throughout my life, and I'm one of those guys that I truly believe that you choose your attitude every morning, and it makes me feel better to be positive and upbeat, and it makes the people around you feel better. So Wade is too kind, saying I'm the heart of the company. I think there's a lot of hearts and a lot of brains there, but I love those people, and I'm happy that I've been able to make some sort of an impact.
Oh, you definitely have. Is there one particular highlight from your time at RoofConnect that you can speak to?
It's sort of funny in a way, because when Wade and I finally came to terms on the job, and obviously I was an older guy when I went to work there, and Wade walked me out in the parking lot the day after we'd come to an agreement. And he said, I'm not going to ask you how long you want to work, but is there anything that you can see that you want to do? And I said, when I do ride off into the sunset, I'd like to look back at this RoofConnect building and see a second story on there and say that I'd had a part of that. Well, we've got a second story on the original RoofConnect building and a new building out the back that's been constructed, and we're out of room there. So I guess that conversation with Wade and I in the parking lot has come to fruition at this point.
Oh, it definitely has. Well, the team at RoofConnect is going to miss you, Mike, and we were wondering, what are your plans for retirement, and is there you're going to start, what new journey are you starting?
Wade and I talk a lot. I've been working from home quite a bit recently, but we talk every day or two, or almost every day on calls and things. But one of the things I've already told him, and he sort of laughed, I said, just want you to know that when I do retire, I'm not giving you my laptop, my cell phone, or my key fob. So I'm going to keep an eye on you guys. And he said, that's a deal, buddy. So I'm always going to be around. I love the RoofConnect family. I truly do love all those people. I've watched them grow up. I've watched them get married. I've watched them bury family members and have children, and they are my family. So I want to be there. Even though I'm retired, I will still be there as a support for those people, and who knows what's around the next corner.
All right, Mike. Glad to hear it. Thanks again for coming on with me today. We're going to miss you, but I'm sure great things are ahead.
My pleasure, David. Thanks for your time, and I appreciate you as well.
Thanks, Mike. Well, that's all the time we have today. I want to thank Mike again for joining me on today's episode. If you like this episode, be sure to click that thumbs up button, like and share this video. You can find all of our episodes anywhere you get your podcast. Just search Roof Connections Podcast. We also post the podcast to our YouTube channel, and you can look for them there. Again, just search Roof Connections Podcast. Again, my name's David. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.
Mike Stivers, it has been a pleasure to know you at RoofConnect. You may remember you were one of the first folks that I spoke with as I joined the organization. It has been a true pleasure to get to know you and a true pleasure to get to see your culture impact upon our organization. Remember, as you go forward into the next area of your life, it will make a difference in all the folks you work with, all the folks you know, and you will always be able to look back and say, I'm responsible for part of that process. This is Michael Moore from Atlanta, Georgia. Again, it has been a pleasure to work with you over the last year. I look forward to keeping up, catching up, and seeing where you move in the future.
Hey, Mike. I've really enjoyed getting to work with you these last several years. You truly are one of the kindest, most caring, positive people I know. You've always been a mentor and a friend to me. Although I've only got to work with you for a few years, I feel like I've known you my whole life. You'll always be family to me, and Gordon and the boys, they'll probably still want to call and leave you messages. So this isn't goodbye, Mike. We love you so much. Congratulations, buddy.
Hey, Mike, buddy. I've been going through, they wanted me to kind of tell stories about you and talk about what all we've done. And man, I was going through kind of memory lane here, thinking about when we were in Baltimore, talking about hitting $100 million over a lot of beer. And I was thinking about the board meeting in 2012. I don't know if you remember it, but after that, I got chewed out. You came to my office and you said, never again will you go through this. And I look back, that year we did $28 million in revenue. And of course, now here we are, over 100. But I think the number one thing I'm going to miss about you is just, I could always go to you and there was no judgment. And you were the best listener I've ever worked with, and one of my best friends. And you're always positive, and you had a huge influence on me, and I know everybody else here too. And the office will never be the same without you here. And there are Mike stories all the time. I was telling the one the other day about when we were in Boston and the rental car got put on kilometers per hour. And so I think I'm doing like 80 miles an hour and everybody's flying by us, honking at us. And you're saying, wait, you got to speed up. And I said, man, I'm doing 80. What? And we finally figured out, we kept pushing buttons and the car damn near stopped. So I think you and I have been every California to Boston to Florida to everywhere else. I think we left Robert at a gas station one time in Florida. So I'll never forget you. And you know, I think about, you used to come into my kids' ball games and watching them play football and basketball and all the stuff like that. I was actually going through some of my videos recently, and I've got videos of when you're in there working and Eric sneaks in behind you and would steal your phone off your desk and then lay on the floor and call your office phone from your cell phone. And you were a one of a kind. And I remember when you first started, we were all like, who is this big son of a gun? And getting to know you, and you are the gentle giant, and you are a one of a kind. And I appreciate your loyalty and your positive energy, and you're the best. Forever love you and forever miss you, pal.
Hey, Mike, it's Wendy. We've worked together for nearly 8.5 years, and I'm both excited and sad that you're leaving us. I'm glad you're getting to enjoy some retirement. I'm going to miss our late night arrivals in Wisconsin when it is negative 20 degrees and I have to run across the parking lot to get our rental car. But I did want you to know that I have been blessed to cross paths with you. The last 8.5 years, I have grown a lot and matured, and you've been a big part of that. Wanted to highlight some of the big takeaways that I had from my time working alongside you and both under you on the sales team. So the first week that I was hired, you told me in a joking content that never have to pack more than a box. And while that sounds kind of, I don't know, weird to some to say, that's kind of stuck with me, not in I may be fired, but more of a don't settle, continue to push yourself to grow and to, always reach your full potential. And so that's really kind of an odd thing that you said, but it has stuck with me over the years, and to this day reminds me to keep pushing. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm also grateful for your mentorship. You're very humbled in that you are excited to share your life experiences and the lessons learned with the rest of us and everyone who works around you. And that's to our benefit. We get to learn from the mistakes you made and take a different path and build off of that. And so that's definitely been a big inspiration for me during my journey. So enjoy retirement, and we're going to miss you, and we'll keep in touch. Love you, buddy.
Hey, Mike, it's Wayne. I just want to take a couple of seconds to say, goodbye. How much I've enjoyed working with you. It's been great. I feel like I've known you a long time, even before coming to work at RoofConnect back in our previous chapters of life. And you're always a good guy, a good person to talk to. When I came over board to RoofConnect and trying to find my way through the company, appreciate the guidance that you gave me. And then later on, you made it easy for a transition. When I took a different role, you were kind of there to help make that transition easy. Greatly appreciated. And I know from the people in the office, you're going to be really missed. Back when you would always go around the office and visit with everybody and check on people with your genuine concern for people. And so, congratulations on your retirement. We're going to miss you, and, stay in touch. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Mike, I guess the day's finally here, and you're going to tell us goodbye for now. And I just want to tell you, I have enjoyed working with you the past several years. I will never forget my first real encounter with you, other than when you spent a couple weeks in the office, when you and I traveled together down to Orlando, and we get down to the airport in Orlando, go to baggage claim and wait on our bags, and I get mine, and you tell me that yours is a black bag, and I'm looking for this black bag, trying to help you. And finally, there's one bag going around the carousel about 30 minutes later, and I go over there and I look at the name tag on this big red bag, and it says Mike Stivers, Benton, Arkansas. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I can't believe we hired this guy. But first impression, may not have been that great, but obviously the last several years have been just awesome. You should have been a hostage negotiator, because you have an uncanny ability to take a really stressful situation and diffuse it and calm everybody down, and within a matter of minutes everybody's laughing and having a good time. So that is really going to be missed around here. It's one of the reasons I look forward to our daily huddle ups every morning, because you always have something to say that's going to make everybody smile or laugh, or at least get the day kicked off the right way. So I'm going to miss you, big guy, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, Mike, we all knew this day was coming. I was able to manipulate you to unknowingly carry out my dirty work. Sorry it had to be that way, but it was important for my survival in this office. It's nothing personal, just part of the game. Glad to know that I worked with you, Mike. Looking forward to you in your retirement and enjoying your days off and not worrying about this place. You did make a big impact on our business and our growth and the culture here, and we appreciate everything you did. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Mike, it's Jenna. You know as well as I do how much we have been through together and everything that we accomplished together. It's a sad day for me. I know it's a happy day for you, but I've enjoyed working with you. I love you dearly. And I won't have to push your big tail through the airport anymore. We were in Atlanta one business trip. I don't remember who we were seeing, but we went to see a customer, and our flight was delayed. And Mike told me to go ahead. You're going to miss the flight, and you don't leave a team member behind. So I told him, I said, you get in this wheelchair, and we're going together. So Mike got in the wheelchair, and literally I ran through the airport, and he was hollering at people to get out of the way because we were going to run over him. So that's a great memory I have with Mike. I will never, ever visit an oyster bar and not think of Mike. Mike and I have bellied up to the oyster bar many a times and shared lots of stories. So, Mike, I love you. I miss you. Bye.
So, Mike, what can you say about Mike Stivers? Well, I can tell you that when we brought Mike in 2012, we were having the worst year in the history of our company. And I had known Mike for a long time previous to that because he's my uncle. And he's been a great mentor to me. And when he became available in the job market, I thought there's no way we could ever get somebody like Mike on our team. I just had the utmost respect for Mike and his the way people gravitated towards him, his drive, his leadership capabilities. And so we're just fortunate that I was able to get him to come on for a short period of time as a consultant, and being the fact that we were having a very difficult year, that everybody wasn't excited about Mike coming on, but it didn't take long for Mike to work his way into everybody's hearts around here. And I can't tell you what Mike Stivers has done for the RoofConnect culture and making us what we are today. I've witnessed him many times, people coming to him and for advice on marriage, or whether to buy a car, or whether to spend money doing something. Mike has just been a great mentor to a lot of people on our team. And we would not be here. RoofConnect would not be where we're at today without Mike Stivers. And I can tell you that we miss him not being in our office every day. Just every day. Mike doesn't have a bad day. Mike comes in, and one of the things I was concerned about when Mike came on is, did he still have the drive to want to make the calls and to really grind it out as a salesperson, and because he'd been in sales leadership, and it's different. And Mike exceeded expectations. I mean, I sit on the other end of the hall from Mike, and he could have one of the most difficult calls from a customer or a complaint. And, he just has this reassuring, everything's going to be all right, buddy. Don't worry about it. We're all over this. We're going to take care of it for you. And you get off the phone and you find out what the problem was talking to Mike, and it's something very, very hard, very complicated. But Mike always had that reassuring, just didn't get rattled and could roll with all kinds of things coming at him. And, I don't know what all you can say about Mike, but Mike's just a special person. He has a huge heart for people. It doesn't matter who you are, what part of life you come from, where you're at. Mike meets you where you're at, and as you meet Mike, he's a friend for life. So I just can't tell Mike how much I love him. He knows I love him, and I try to tell him quite often. But he's definitely helped shape the culture at RoofConnect, and we still miss having him around here every day, and we'll continue to miss having him around here every day. But I think, Mike, you need to know what a special person you are and how much you mean to all of us here at RoofConnect.